I am 35 years old, working as a middle manager in a Silicon Valley tech company. I built everything I have from the ground up, my career, my financial stability, and my home. I should feel proud, but all I feel is exhaustion. Not from work, but from a family that sees me as nothing more than a walking ATM. I have an estranged relationship with my parents, not because I wanted it that way, but because they made it impossible to be part of their world without sacrificing myself. You see, in my family, there was always an unwritten rule. I had to be responsible, the example, the one who had it together, while my younger brother Jason could do no wrong. Growing up, I was the golden child on paper, but the forgotten one in reality. Straight A's? That was expected. Anything less? Why are you wasting your potential? Meanwhile, Jason failed classes, skipped school, and stole money from our dad's wallet. But it was always excused as just a phase. The double standards were suffocating. At 16, I was grounded for a month because I got a B+ in chemistry. That same month, Jason was caught stealing from our parents for the third time, and they just shook their heads saying, "He's just sensitive." It didn't stop in childhood. When I turned 18, I moved out, working 2 jobs to put myself through college. My dad's reaction? Well, you'd have to start paying rent if you stayed here anyway. But Jason? He lived at home rent-free until he was 25. My parents even gave him an allowance because job hunting was emotionally exhausting. Still, I tried. I tried so hard to win their approval, thinking that maybe if I worked harder, if I achieved more, they would finally acknowledge me. They never did. And yet, despite everything, I still picked up the phone when my mother called me last week, because she never calls unless she wants something. And I was right. Jason had racked up $440,000 in debt, and my parents expected me to bail him out. That was the moment I realized something. No matter how much I sacrificed, it would never be enough. And for the first time in my life, I said no. When my mother first called, her voice was unusually sweet. "How's work? Are you still at that tech company? Have you been eating well?" She never asks me these things. She doesn't care. So I braced myself. "Jason's in trouble," she finally admitted. "He owes some money. $440,000. My stomach dropped. Not credit card debt, not student loans, but money owed to dangerous people. I asked how it happened. She waved it off. "That doesn't matter right now. What matters is that he's your brother, and family helps family." That line. Family helps family. The same line they used when they wanted me to pay Jason's rent, when they wanted me to cover for him after he stole my credit card information, when they wanted me to let him live in my house rent-free. But this was too much. I took a deep breath and said the hardest word I'd ever said to them. No. There was silence. Then, my mother's voice changed. "You're being selfish. After everything we've done for you, do you want your brother's blood on your hands?" Click. I hung up, and for the first time in my life, I felt free. It started small. A flood of text messages. "We raised you better than this. How can you turn your back on your family?" Then it escalated. My bank called me the next day. "Did you authorize a $20,000 transfer attempt?" No, I did not. Someone had tried to access my account using my personal information, my mother's maiden name, my social security number, even my childhood pet's name. There was only one person who could have known all that. Jason. I changed every password, locked down my accounts, and felt something I never thought I'd feel toward my own brother. Fear. Then my aunt called. "Your parents are telling everyone that you abandoned Jason while he's fighting for his life?" she whispered. They were spreading lies to the entire family. And then, the worst part. Jason's ex-girlfriend messaged me. "He's been saying weird things. Something about teaching you a lesson. Be careful." That's when I installed security cameras. Because I knew this wasn't over, I decided to confront Jason. His apartment was a disaster. Unshaven, dark circles under his eyes, stacks of papers on his coffee table, credit card statements, multiple names. "You tried to steal from me," I said. His response? He laughed. "Mom. And Dad said if it got bad enough, you'd give in. I was just speeding up the process." He had no guilt. Then my parents arrived, storming in like they owned the place. "You should be ashamed of yourself," my father barked. Jason was desperate. My mother sobbed. What else was he supposed to do? "Not commit bank fraud?" I snapped. Then I played my trump card. I pulled out my phone and hit play, the recording of Jason admitting to hacking my account. The color drained from their faces. "This recording goes straight to the police if anything happens to me or my accounts again," I said. My father's face twisted with rage. "If you walk out that door, don't expect to be part of this family anymore." I smiled. That sounds more like a promise than a threat. And I walked away. I exposed everything. I sent an email to the entire family with proof of Jason's fraud, my parents' manipulation, and the threats they sent me. And the fallout was immediate. Jason lost his apartment and had to work 3 jobs to pay his debts. My parents lost their perfect family reputation in their social circle. Extended family finally saw them for who they really were. And me? I was free. For years, I believed that love meant sacrifice, that being a good daughter meant always saying yes, even when it hurt me. That family meant loyalty, no matter the cost. I was wrong. Love without respect is not love. Loyalty without boundaries is not loyalty. And family? Family is not about blood. Family is about who stands by you, not who bleeds you dry. Walking away was the hardest thing I've ever done. Even now, there are moments when doubt creeps in. When I hear my mother's voice in my head, whispering, "Family helps family," like a curse I can't break. But then, I remember the years of exhaustion, the financial and emotional toll of always being the responsible one, and the way they turned on me the moment I stopped playing their game. And I remind myself I am not their scapegoat. I am not Jason's personal ATM. I am not responsible for their bad decisions. I have worked too hard to build a life of my own. And now, for the first time in my life, I finally get to live it, on my terms. To anyone out there struggling with a toxic family, I want you to hear this. You are not selfish for setting boundaries. You are not cruel for protecting your peace. You are not obligated to light yourself on fire to keep others warm. You deserve to be surrounded by people who value you for who you are, not for what you can give. You deserve to live without guilt weighing you down. And most importantly, deception and the never-ending weight of providing for others, and what do you know, no lawsuit ever could make that feel better. You deserve to be free. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.